U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. Put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in, a big, 10,000 page bill where the banks could seize the depositors' and creditors' deposits. So people are asking me what's going on with the U.S. dollar. I'm sure most of you are aware by now. If you're not, go ahead and let you in on it. The dollar's going away. The U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. We will put in what's called a CBDC, which is a programmable digital currency. They've been working on that for several years. Another name for it is Biden bucks, some people are calling it. So cash is going away. And if you've not been made aware up till now, if you've not seen any news reports, because the media is mainly blacking this out, so you don't really know what's going on. But all the leaders around the world are telling everyone to dump the dollar, and their citizens are following suit. So what that's going to do is just destroy the value of our currency. It will go to basically zero, just like Venezuela. If you want to see what's going to happen here, look at what happened to Venezuela when its dollar collapsed or its currency collapsed. That's exactly what's coming here. So everyone needs to be aware of this. They also, in another component, put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in, a big, 10,000 page bill where the banks could seize the depositors' and creditors' deposits, and there's no guarantee or even law that says they have to give it back. So this is already happening in other countries around the world. Banks are being burnt to the ground, and the media has a complete blackout on it. So that's how you know it's something they don't want you knowing about. They want you to be unaware of what's coming. So here's what I'll give you a timeline, okay? In July, they will roll out what's called the FedNow system. Now that is basically a payment processing system similar to PayPal or something like that. So from now on, right after that, they'll implement the digital currency. They'll crash the dollar, and then they'll let chaos reign for a few months. I don't know, a few weeks, few months, who knows? I can't tell you exactly how long it'll take, but they need rioting to go on. They need stores to be empty, which that'll only take 3 days after the dollar collapses. You're going to need to have 3 months of food, water, necessary supplies, because stores will empty out very quickly. Think back to when the COVID scam was going on and how fast people rushed and emptied out stores. Okay, well, now just imagine money getting cut off. You have no access. The banks are closed. They will not reopen during this. There's no ATMs that will work. You're just out of cash. There'll be looting. There'll be rioting. It's going to be crazy for a little bit, and they need that. They need that chaos going on so they can force you into the digital dollar system, okay? The programmable digital currency. Now, that's horrible for a lot of reasons. One, they can tell you where you can spend your money, when you can spend it, how much you can spend. They can penalize and take money straight out of your bank account if they don't like what you're saying or doing on social media, or if they tell you to do something like take more shots and you refuse. So if they want to give you more shots and you refuse, they can just shut off your money. Just turn it off like a light switch. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you guys have no clue. Well, a lot of people, let me say that. A lot of people have no clue what this means and how much control they're going to have over everything you do or say. It's going to be bad. However, it's probably gone too far to stop at this point. I've been telling people this for a couple of years now. Other people have been trying to tell people and wake people up. It's not worked. Everybody's asleep. Everybody's focused on, what the mainstream media is talking about on any given day, all these crises they keep creating to distract your attention on what's going on here. So it is what it is at this point. Once the FedNow system goes in place in July, it's going to go full online in July. Okay? Once that happens, at some point between now and the end of the year, they are going to crash everything. It'll be the worst crash in human history. However, it's going to take phases for them to completely crash it. Okay? So the first thing they got to do is put the FedNow system in place. Then they have to put the digital currency in place. That'll happen after, I don't know, a month, 2 months of chaos going on, rioting, all that kind of stuff. When people are just literally at their wits' end, then the government will come out and say, okay, we figured out a way to let things go back to normal. We're going to implement this digital currency system. It's much more stable than the fiat currency. And if you want to get some of your money back that was seized by the banks, the evil banks, and they're all in on it together, you guys got to start waking up to the fact that all of this stuff, governments, banks, Everything is owned on the planet by 13 families. They hide behind the scenes. They use shell corporations, things of that nature, asset protection, to where it's very difficult to track who's behind it all. But the governments, those are just puppets. They don't have any power. All these wars and everything, they control it all on both sides. Okay? They fund both sides. They're profiting off this misery and death and sickness and all this stuff. It's just a game. And people need to wake up to that fact. It's all just scripts. And like a movie, it's basically professional wrestling playing out on a global scale, where they have a script, you got good guys, you got bad guys in front of the camera. Behind the scenes, they're all hanging out, getting drunk, and becoming trillionaires off of our misery and suffering. So this has been going on for thousands of years. It's going to keep going on until we stand up and put a stop to it. So what's going on with stocks right now? You know, there's schemes in the stock market. It's all rigged. I tell people stay out of that thing unless you're knowledgeable enough and on the inside enough to where you're rigging the game, because it's all rigged. So if you're not aware that the game is rigged, then you're the sucker at the table and you're going to get taken. You may have a win here, a win there, but overall, you're going to lose. That's all there is to it. The house always wins, just like Vegas. They didn't build those multi-billion-dollar hotels off people winning, okay, when they come play in the casino. They can only build those things off your losses. Same thing with stocks, bonds, all that type of thing. It's all just scams and rigged. But that's fine. What's going on right now with the stocks, the reason it's going up is because they're suckering people in. Okay, they're trying to claim there's going to be a rally, all this. No, stocks are going to lose 80 to 90% of their value by the end of this year. Right after they crash the dollar, stocks are going to crash. Real estate's going to crash. They're going to crash it all. Okay, now that doesn't mean you need to be scared. It doesn't mean you need to be in a panic. It means you need to position yourself to where you can benefit and capitalize on all the chaos that's coming. Because wherever there's chaos, there's opportunity. There's opportunity to help those that did not prepare in time. There's opportunity to get things at a steal, at a discount that's unprecedented, okay? Real estate's going to drop 30 to 50% in values, stocks 80 to 90. All crypto will be outlawed and go to zero. Been saying that for 2 years as well. The reason for that, and it's common sense, guys, okay? If you want to know what's coming here, look at what China's done for the last, let's say, 10 years. That's exactly what's coming here, okay? They're going to try to disarm us so that we can't resist what they're doing. And then they're going to try to make us completely dependent on them for a universal basic income that's all digital. They can just shut it off anytime they want if you don't comply with whatever their orders are. So what they're doing right now with stocks is they're allowing it to go up to sucker people in to getting in, thinking there's going to be a bull run and that they're going to make a lot of money. That's not going to happen. It's going to collapse overnight on a Friday, and it'll happen on a Friday. On the news, you'll hear about a financial collapse happening. The next morning you'll wake up, banks will be closed. ATMs will not work. Okay, that's the beginning of the crash. Now, that's just going to, like I said, create the panic to force people into the digital currency. And then they'll allow, once people get on the digital platform, and then once they tell you, okay, we're switching over to this digital platform, it's going to save things, it's going to make things go back to normal you're going to have about 30 days, they're going to say, to turn in all cash or convert it over to digital, or you're going to lose it. Okay, well, during that time of them shutting off the money and before they implement the digital, literally, if you've got cash put back, and I don't mean in a bank, you better get it out of the bank. Only keep 30 days worth of money in a bank at any given time, or you're going to lose it. Take it, put it in a safe, someplace safe, and then you're going to be able to pick up things literally for pennies on the dollar. Now, there's two sides to this coin. One, it's great to be able to pick up things at pennies on the dollar. The downside is you're doing it at other people's expense. Now, I'm of the mindset that just because I know how to profit off of collapses and things of that nature, and other people don't, or a lot of people don't, doesn't mean I shouldn't benefit, or doesn't mean I shouldn't profit somehow with what I've spent 32 years learning how to do. It's the same thing the ultra wealthy do. The difference is I'm sharing this information with you. They're not going to. In fact, they're going to try, they're going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to steal, they're going to manipulate you in any way they can to keep you from knowing that this stuff exists and that it's all just a game. It's all the bubbles and crashes are all engineered. That's why it happens every 10 to 12 years. It doesn't happen by accident. People don't sit and look over the history of these events and watch them happen over and over and over. It's the same game they're playing. And we're too busy living life, watching movies and music videos and all the
Shalom, shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I give double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, and to us the truth and will well, and citations to hopefully pushing truth and honesty and sincerity. Spirit of Yahweh, Gunilus, the Spirit Power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Give another update in times and events. You just seen the in-depth news report or information given out by this guy going into the economic collapse that's coming to hit America, and this is something that everybody can pretty much feel that there's something big that's getting ready to happen, and this is that thing right here. Okay, you're gonna have total chaos that's gonna hit this place, and people will be just straight up out of desperation, robbing, stealing, killing each other. You'll even have the great extent of cannibalism that's going to take place from the amount of starvation and suffering that people will experience in the times to come, man.
The dollars go.
So, hey, definitely pay attention to the time that you're living in. Mentally prepare yourself. Build up your shield of protection through the Spirit. You're going to need divine intervention in order to make it in these events that are going to take place that this guy's talking about. Yeah, there's certain things he mentioned about that you can do to prepare, but all that preparation is going to fail, because the amount of chaos that's going to unfold behind all of this is going to be so extreme. It's going to be straight survival, people getting killed left and right. There's not going to be anything bouncing back after this. They're going to roll out, that with that digital currency, CBDCs, and when they do that, they're also going to eventually place it onto the RFID microchip implant, and that's biblically prophesied about. That's referenced as the mark of the beast in the Bible. Okay, and all forms of payment will eventually go to that. So there might be a slight calm as far as switching over, and people are going to flock over to the digital version of the money. But then they're going to say, hey, look, you can only access this money unless you have this thing that's in your hand. And also they want the one to put in your head as well. It's total, complete control. Making everyone, the perfect slaves, the ultimate zombies when this stuff rolls out. Okay? They're going to crash the system, man. They're going to crash the system. So if you don't have the Lord protecting you, you're just not going to make it. You're going to need that first and foremost. Secondly, go ahead and do some of the things that he said. You can take some type of preparations to make it through the various stages that this place is about to be put in, because it's going to happen in different stages. Okay, like he mentioned. At first it'll just go to a digital stage where you can go, sign up to get it digitally through the FedNow system. Okay, gradually make changes in the supermarkets and things like that to go to that type of system. They may let you use your phones for a short period of time, and then they're going to say, hey, look, that's not secure enough. And that's when they're going to roll out with that C-HIP, man. That C-HIP. If you spell that, you know what I'm talking about, man. And that's going to be the most secure way that they're going to say. So a lot of people are going to go take it just to receive a little bit of money. And they're going to have a social credit system as well. He didn't really mention that, but he did go into how, the level of control of what they're going to be able to do. With that level of control, they're going to go into a social credit-based system. When you look up the CBDCs and everything they have planned with that, there's going to be three different classifications of categories of citizens. You're going to have the super elite, the rich. They'll be placed in a certain category. You have the poor placed in a certain category and another group. And basically, based off your social credit score, what you do to comply in society, you'll be placed in a certain level, certain group. and you'll be given a specific amount of money that you'll be allowed to receive at one time. Some people will only be allowed to have $1,000 at a time that they'll be given that they're allowed to spend. And you don't do certain things, hey, they'll just try to turn off your damn C-hit, man. You know, so I got some scriptures that's going to go into it. The biggest economic financial collapses is referenced within the scriptures. You can find it in Revelation, the 18th chapter, and also in the book of Esdras, within the Apocrypha as well. And we're going to rip both those out. This book of Revelation 18, verse 8 says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Her is talking about the great city Babylon the Great, which that's America right now. Okay, America is Babylon, Sodom, Egypt, all in one spiritually. Okay, it's spiritually called the new spiritual Sodom, Egypt, and Babylon, and all those wicked kingdoms is America. Okay, it says, verse 10, standing afar off with the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour thy judgment is come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver, precious stones, pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, all fine wood, all manner of vessels of ivory, all manner of vessels of most precious wood, brass, iron, marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. Okay, so anything that is sold and traded with this country will be stripped away. Okay, and notice the things that it mentioned with the food. Okay, you're going to have a great starvation, man, a great famine that's going to hit all these people. Not going to have access to that. You know, it says, thou shalt find them no more at all. Verse 15, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company's ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? All right, so there you go. You're going to have all these shipping container ships, these cargo ships, just sitting off the coast, and you already got that going on. You know, broke. You know, and crying because they're looking to make some money, but the economy is going to collapse. It's only going to take an hour for this thing to crash, man. That's what it says in verse 17. For 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. So there's going to be a great collapse. It's going to be a great collapse. 2nd Esdras 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, people kicking in each other's doors, robbing, stealing, and killing each other for a loaf of bread, man. That's how bad it is. It's going to be utter chaos. Complete chaos, man. So if you don't have an angel protecting you and helping you, you know, come across food and protect you from rioters and people looking to steal and rob you, you're just not going to make it in that day. So if you didn't get right with the Lord, you're going to be out of luck. There's nothing you can do to try to plan for every single little bitty thing that's going to happen. And it's the little bitty thing that's going to happen that you didn't plan for that's going to kill you. It could be the simplest thing, man. You may think that you're storing food, you're buying rations, you got all that stored up. You know, but did you plan for a missile, you know, from other countries during times of war, flying and hitting part of your home? And you can't get access to that? Did you plan for, a troop of soldiers raiding your home to try to go put you in a FEMA camp? Did you plan for, sometimes you might have animals or pests that might get into your stuff? That your town, your local city has to be evacuated because of attacks. Did you plan for that? You may think, oh, you're going to get on the highway and take off and go to another place. Did you plan for your highway to be blown the fuck up? Road blocked off. Sectioned off. Checkpoints established. Oh, you're going to go afoot. Did you plan for your health to make it? There's so many things that can happen. You see? The what ifs. There's so many what ifs. But ultimately, the answer to all of that is divine intervention. Protection from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. Call upon that true name of the Lord. If you're not right, and you're not right in the Lord's eyes, you're not going to be protected. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. There you go, man. Jacob's trouble is approaching. It's the time of total, utter chaos. Everything going bad. World War III, financial collapse, martial law, famines, the plagues of Egypt hitting. All that is Jacob's trouble. 1 Timothy 6:17. Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches. Right, man. This is all nothing but fiat currency, man. These are uncertain riches that you got. And one day, you're going to go to the bank and there's not going to be nothing in it. Nothing in it. Check this out.
Oh, man. Due to emergency conditions and to accommodate all customers, today's daily cash withdrawal limit is only $1,000. This is at Wells Fargo. Due to emergency conditions. But what happened to the delusional fools who come here and say that the dollar is it's gonna take 10 years for the dollar to collapse, but then the bank is only allowing 1,000 withdrawal due to emergency conditions? You don't get it by now?
So there you have it, man. The ship is sinking very, very fast, man. You better get right with the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai to help you in the times to come, man. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding shall be the stability of thy times, what the scriptures say. So you got to have grace in the eyes of the Lord. So simply put, there's so much shit that's going to happen behind this, you cannot prepare for it all. We're living in the times of the last days, man. The Lord is coming back. And a lot of you are about to be put spiritually through the test. We're about to be put to the test. Even as brothers bringing out these lessons. But you want to increase your chances of making it, is have favor in the eyes of the Lord. So with that, Lord's will is edifying. I'm going to close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem HaKakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, taught us truth and will. Sorry, tasty, hopefully that person is truth and honesty, sincerity. Shalom.